Disturbing trend for African-American drivers. That's what analysts say about the new report on car stops by law enforcement in Missouri. 41 Action News reporter Shannon Halligan breaks down the findings.
The number of white drivers stopped in Kansas City was less than the proportion of white drivers in the state, while the number of African Americans pulled over was overrepresented in comparison to the population in the state by nearly 4 times. Still, the numbers in Ferguson versus the state's population showed the disparity rate of African Americans among the highest in the state.
Stopped and searched. How much does race play a role in being pulled over? Growing up in Raytown, Darren Babson encountered a case of mistaken identity because of his race.
When you're 17 and you're on your way to school, getting pulled over on a bicycle by a police officer and getting a gun put in your face isn't, the most pleasant thing ever.
Babson wasn't alone. In fact, last year in Missouri, African-American drivers were 75% more likely than white drivers to be stopped. That's according to new numbers released by law enforcement agencies in the state. That number has more than doubled in the last 14 years.
People of color in Missouri, especially black people, don't need these numbers to know that it's happening. This only confirms what they live day in and day out.
For Babson, he didn't feel like he was unfairly targeted.
At the end of the day, they're looking for a bad guy, and it ruined my day and I was late to school, but, I hope they got another criminal off the street.
But the ACLU wants to make sure race isn't the only factor.
We tried this legislative session to make some changes and were shot down. And until there's a statewide effort to actually combat these rising numbers, I'm not going to be surprised if they keep rising and are higher next year.
Missouri Attorney General Chris Koster said these numbers don't prove law enforcement officers are making stops based on race, but said it was critical for future improvements. Live in the studio, Shannon Halligan, 41 Action News.